Hey Wildcats, it's Miss Johnson again, and we are back to complete our reading guide for Wednesday, October the 28th. So make sure that you go to your quarter two, week two module, open up the assignment reading guide for Tuesday, October the 27th, and Wednesday, October the 28th. Be sure that you refresh here in Canvas before you open the blue hyperlink so that it will capture all the good work that you did yesterday. You might have highlighted some things like that. So go ahead and open it up, or refresh, then open it up, and then click your blue hyperlink. I've got my copy ready to go. And just a reminder, as we were reading, remember we only have one graphic organizer to complete today. And once we get to the end of this chapter, we're going to be focusing on Penelope. And first, we're going to be focusing on her conflict. What did she want? What is in the way? What's the conflict? So, what does she do because of the conflict? And then what happens next? Okay, so somebody wanted, but so then for Penelope. And then, what is her impact on Junior? And as we read today, there are actually multiple effects that she has on Junior. So be prepared to list many things here in your answer, incomplete sentences, of course. And then also as we read, we want to focus on what are these character traits that we feel best portray Penelope's character in this chapter. And we learned yesterday that she is bulimic, which is unfortunate. That is an eating disorder where people they gorge on a lot of food. They eat a lot of food and then they go and make themselves throw up to vomit the food out. So again, we need to figure out what is causing her to do that. Okay, so yesterday we read pages 1 through 3, and yeah, I tried to make vomit sounds. I couldn't do it because that would probably make me want to vomit. So we read through the end of page 3, and Junior is going crazy about Penelope. And let's review this last paragraph from page 3, and then we'll move on. Let's see here, because this is kind of one of the effects that Penelope has on Junior. Over the next few weeks, Penelope and I become a hot item at Reardon High School. Well, okay, we're not exactly a romantic couple. We're more like friends with potential. So Penelope has befriended Junior, but that's still cool. Everybody is absolutely shocked that Penelope chose me to be her new friend. Now I'm not some ugly mutated beast. So here, this could be another effect that Penelope has on Junior, because before, Junior felt like everyone thought he was an ugly mutated beast. But now, since Penelope has said, okay, Junior can be my friend, now he's not some ugly mutated beast. So that's a positive impact. So because Penelope has kind of changed how she views Junior, and because she's popular, people kind of look up to what she does. Now they're taking a different look at Junior. But here's this last sentence: but I am an absolute stranger at the school, so he still doesn't feel welcome or known. All right. Junior says, I am an Indian. He's Native American. And Penelope's father, Earl, is a racist. Good name, Earl. The first time I meet him, he said, kid, you better keep your hands off my daughter's panties. She's only dating you because she knows it'll piss me off. So I ain't going to get pissed, and if I don't get pissed, then she'll stop dating you. In the meantime, you just keep your trouser snake in your trousers, and I won't have to punch you in the stomach. Whoa, that's crazy. And then you know what he said to me after that? Oh my gosh, Junior, what did Earl say? Kid, if you get my daughter pregnant, if you make some charcoal babies, that's terrible. I'm going to disown her. I'm going to kick her out of my house, and you'll have to bring her home to your mommy and daddy. You hear me straight, kid? This is on you now. Yep, Earl was a real winner. Wish we could characterize Earl, right? I'd have some choice words about Earl. Okay, so Penelope and I became a hot topic because we were defying the great and powerful Earl. And yeah, you're probably thinking that Penelope was dating me only because I was the worst possible choice for her. She was probably dating me only because I was an Indian boy. And okay, so she was only semi-dating me. We held hands once in a while. Ooh, Junior. And we kissed once or twice, but that was it. I don't know what I meant to her. I think she was bored of being the prettiest, smartest, and most popular girl in the world. She wanted to get a little crazy, you know? She wanted to she wanted to get a little smudged, and I was the smudge. But hey, I was kind of using her too. After all, I suddenly became popular. Huh, I'm going to highlight this because this seems really important. We might want to use this at the end of our guide. I was kind of using her too. After all, I suddenly became popular because Penelope had publicly declared that I was cute enough to almost date. All of the other girls in school decided that I was cute too. Ooh, so all the girls now like Junior. Because I got to hold hands with Penelope and kiss her goodbye when she jumped on the school bus to go home, all of the other boys in school decided that I was a major stud. Uh-oh, go Junior. So it's kind of like he's really into Penelope. He thinks she's so beautiful, but he does like this effect that she's having on him, the fact that people are noticing him now. Girls have crushes on him, the boys think he's so cool, he's a stud, and he's noticing this change. So uh, Junior likes that. Oh, look at this. Even the teachers started paying more attention to me. Junior was mysterious. So all of this I'm just going to highlight because you guys might want to go back to it when you answer your questions at the end about how Penelope impacted Junior. How did I, the dorky Indian guy, win a tiny piece of Penelope's heart? What was my secret? I looked and talked and dreamed and walked differently than everybody else. I was new. If you want to get all biological, then you'd have to say that I was an exciting addition to the Reardon gene pool. So, okay, those are all the obvious reasons why Penelope and I were friends, all the shallow reasons. But what about the bigger and better reasons? Okay, so here, this is important. So Junior's saying like, yeah, I admit, there are shallow reasons why I wanted to be friends with or date Penelope. I mean, he thinks she's beautiful, and he notices that because she's paying him attention, everyone else is paying attention to him. But now he's saying there are bigger and better reasons that they're friends. So let's find out why else he appreciates this friendship. Arnold, she said one day after school, I hate this little town. It's so small. It's too small. Everything about it is small. The people here have small ideas, small dreams. They all want to marry each other and live here forever. This sounds like a conflict here. So I'm just going to write myself a note. Like, she hates the town, right? So if we think about conflict and we think about the somebody wanted but so, that's going to be important to remember. She hates this little town, Reardon. What do you want to do? I asked. I want to leave as soon as I can. I think I was born with a suitcase. Yeah, she talked like that, all big and goofy and dramatic. I wanted to make fun of her, but she was so earnest. So earnest means like she was really honestly telling the truth. Like she really did want to get out of there. And even though she sounded goofy, that's really what she wanted. Where do you want to go? I asked. Everywhere. I want to walk on the Great Wall of China. I want to walk to the top of the pyramids in Egypt. I want to swim in every ocean. I want to climb Mount Everest. I want to go on an African safari. I want to ride a dog sled in Antarctica. I want all of it, every single piece of everything. Her eyes got the strange, faraway look, like she'd been hypnotized. I laughed. Don't laugh at me, she said. I'm not laughing at you, I said. I'm laughing at your eyes. That's the whole problem, she said. Nobody takes me seriously. Okay, this could be a conflict too. Nobody takes her seriously. That's kind of like maybe a little bit how Junior feels, like nobody sees him, nobody notices him at Reardon. And that's got to be a yucky feeling. Well, come on, it's kind of hard to take you seriously when you're talking about the Great Wall of China and Egypt and stuff. Those are just big, goofy dreams. They're not real. They're real to me, she said. Excuse me, why don't you quit talking in dreams and tell me what you really want to do with your life? I said. Make it simple. Okay, I want to go to Stanford and study architecture. Wow, That's cool, I said, but why architecture? Because I want to build something beautiful. Because I want to be remembered. Ooh, that's deep. And I couldn't make fun of her for that dream. It was my dream too. Oh, they had the same dream. That's so romantic, right? So I'm just going to highlight this because it stands out to me, because it's probably going to impact Junior in some way if he's realizing they have the same dream. And Indian boys weren't supposed to dream like that. And white girls from small towns weren't supposed to dream big either. We were supposed to be happy with our limitations. But there was no way Penelope and I were going to sit still. Nope. We both wanted to fly. I like that line. So here again, Junior has realized that this commonality that he and Penelope have, because he was born in poverty and all of the obstacles present on the reservation. And he realizes, like, oh, okay, there's some gender norms here in Reardon that limit the white girls maybe from feeling like they can have big dreams too. You know, I said, I think it's way cool that you want to travel the world, but you won't even make it halfway if you don't eat enough. Aw, Junior's worried about his little girlfriend. She was in pain and I loved her. Sort of loved her, I guess. So I kind of have had to love her pain too. Mostly I love to look at her. I guess that's what boys do, right? And men, we look at girls and women, we stare at them, and this is what I saw when I stared at Penelope. And then in the original novel there was a picture of Penelope, which I don't have here for you. I'm sorry. Was it wrong to stare so much? Was it romantic at all? I don't know, but I couldn't help myself. Maybe I don't know anything about romance, but I know a little bit about beauty. And man, Penelope was crazy beautiful. Can you blame me for staring at her all day long? Okay, so now we've learned a lot more about good old Penelope and what she and Junior have in common and her impact on him. So we have three parts to complete here. The first one, use somebody wanted but so then to illustrate Penelope's main conflict in the chapter. Okay, so you guys are going to do this all on your own, but I'm just going to give you your reminders. So somebody, and we know that the somebody obviously is Penelope. What did she want? Go back up in the chapter. There are different ways you can word it. What did she desire for her life? What what was the big conflict? What was holding her back from reaching those dreams? So what was the conflict? So how did she deal with the conflict? Think about Junior's dad, because he compared Penelope to Junior's dad. So Junior's dad deals with his conflict of like kind of being stuck in the cycle of poverty by drinking his problems away. So Penelope deals with her conflict by she doesn't drink alcohol, but what did Junior discover that she does in the restroom? So she does that. And then at the end of the chapter, I will help you with this one. She befriends Junior, and they become a kind of couple, right? And that's how the chapter ends. So I gave you the then, and I gave you the somebody. So you tell me what Penelope wanted, what the big but is, what is her conflict? So how does she deal with a conflict? And then make sure that you record the then she befriends Junior. Okay, so if you'd like to pause the video right now, and you can go ahead and finish up step 1 and then continue to step 2. All right, step 2, we need to figure out what kind of impact Penelope has on Junior, how she affects him. So based on Penelope's conflict and Junior's reaction to her, what effect does Penelope have on Junior? And this is the part where I said she has lots of impacts on him. So one, you might think about, again, how oopsie, how does Junior feel when he looks at Penelope, right? Because he thinks she's very beautiful. So that could be one impact on her. Um, and he feels like another impact was that like he cares for her. So he also cares for her pain, right? So he worries for her. Right? Remember he said like you can't go reach your dreams if you don't have enough to eat. But then the last way that Penelope impacts Junior, actually, there's two more. Because think about, let's see here, how does Penelope impact Junior at school? So, because Penelope decided that she was going to be friends with Junior, then what did everybody else decide? They wanted to be also with Junior. So that would be another impact. And I'm not being very precise in my language, so hopefully you guys can make some sense of this. So the impact that Penelope has on Junior, this first bullet, is essentially how he feels when he looks at her. That would be one impact. The second one is when he learned how she deals with her pain. Because he cares for her, he also worries for her, so that would be an impact. Then think about how Penelope impacts Junior at school, and that would be because Penelope decides to befriend Junior, what do the other students then do? And even the teachers, Junior said. So that's a third impact. And then the fourth impact would be compare Penelope and Junior, compare where they are now, and then think about their dreams. And so, how does Junior learning about Penelope's dream impact him? Okay, and remember he said they both wanted to fly. All right, so those are 4 ways that Penelope impacts Junior. So lots of effects on Junior. So then, okay, actually, if you want to pause the video and put your effects in complete sentences, make sure don't write exactly what I've written. You need to make sure that you have them in complete sentences in your own thoughts. And then we'll move on to our final step. All right, so once you have finished step 2, you are now ready for the final step 3. So based on your analysis above, list a corresponding character trait for Penelope. And there are lots of different character traits that you could think about here. And definitely put more than one. Make sure that you put them in complete sentences. But the way that she deals with her pain, you might think of a character trait based on that. The way she is perceived by her peers, you might think of a character trait for that. The dreams that she has for her life, her dreams and aspirations, you might think of a character trait for that. So those are 3 different ways that you could describe Penelope, and even the way that Junior physically sees Penelope, that could be one way to characterize her, right? Okay, so again, look at your character chart, get as many great adjectives as you can. I bet you could get at least 5, because we got a lot of good information here about Penelope in this chapter. Once you finish the 3 steps, just follow the directions from your teacher to as far as submitting it to be graded. And then let's see here, Thursday and Friday, we're going to take our analysis of part-time Indian and apply them to EOC questions for our first formal grade of the quarter. All right, guys, so I will see you later. Bye.